The following is a list of the 10 richest countries in the world by measure of gross domestic product at purchasing power parity per capita. What this means is that a country's gross domestic product, or GDP, is divided amongst the country's residents to show how much wealth the country's citizens could obtain if the GDP of a country were to be divided equally. Although this division of income is never a reality, looking at per capita income is still a very valuable way to measure the performance of any given country's economy. Number 10. San Marino, 60,358 GDP per capita. The tiny European microstate of San Marino holds a designation of being the world's 10th richest country, with the average personal income coming in at 60,358. Major industries in San Marino include banking, tourism, electronics, and wine and cheese production. Notably, San Marino holds no national debt. Around half of its economy is fueled by tourism. Number 9. Switzerland, 61,359 GDP per capita. Swiss banking and financial institutions keep this country and its economy afloat. It is important to note that some of the wealthiest people and companies in the world own Swiss bank accounts, and therefore Switzerland has excess capital to use for investment purposes. Zurich and Geneva, Switzerland's most well-known cities, have consistently ranked among the top 10 worldwide in terms of standards of living. The GDP per Swiss citizen is 61,359. Number 8. The United Arab Emirates, 68,245 GDP per capita. The outstanding Middle Eastern Federation of Emirates has a land area of about 32,278 square miles, which means it could easily fit within New York State 54,556 square miles. With a population of 9.2 million people, it's a bit more populated than the state of New Jersey. Roughly one-third of the 68,245 per capita economy comes from oil revenues, while the service sector and telecommunications also contribute significantly. The United Arab Emirates is the second largest economy in the Arab world after Saudi Arabia. Number 7. Kuwait, 69,669 GDP per capita. Kuwait hosts a small, relatively open economy, and its citizens enjoy a per capita GDP of 69,669. The highest valued currency unit in the world currently is the Kuwaiti dinar. With nearly 10% of the world's oil reserves, petroleum accounts for nearly half of GDP and 95% of export revenues and government income. In recent years, Kuwait has done little to diversify its economy due to a very positive fiscal situation. Number 6. Norway, 70,590 GDP per capita. This Nordic nation's per capita GDP of 70,590 allows its 4.97 million people to reap the benefits of a small, yet robust economy. Driven by fishing, natural resources, and major petroleum exploration, Norway is the 8th largest exporter of crude oil, 9th largest exporter of refined oil, and 3rd largest exporter of natural gas in the world. Number 5. Ireland, 72,632 GDP per capita. The Emerald Isle has a per capita income of about 72,632 with a population of about 4.8 million people. The main industries that boost its economy are textiles, mining, and food production. Inuit Organization of Economic Cooperation and Development rankings, Ireland actually places 4th overall. Number 4. Brunei, 76,743 GDP per capita. Brunei, a small country in Southeast Asia, has an economy that is a mixture of foreign and domestic entrepreneurship, government regulation and welfare measures, and village tradition. This has led to GDP per capita of 76,743. It is almost completely supported by exports of crude oil and natural gas. Like other oil countries on the list, the government has shown progress in diversifying the economy away from just oil and gas. Number 3. Singapore, 90,531 GDP per capita. This tiny city-state has moved up from 5th position to take 3rd with per capita income of $90,531, which is 5 times the average per capita income for an ordinary individual in the world. The basis of Singapore's wealth is its financial services sector, a chemical export industry, and its liberal economic policies that encourage growth and innovation. Singapore has the 2nd busiest port in the world, exporting 414 billion of goods in 2011 alone. Number 2. Luxembourg, 109,191 GDP per capita. A symbol of wealth, Luxembourg takes 2nd place with a per capita GDP of 109,191. This is 9 times the world average. The backbone of this strong economy is its vibrant financial sector, prudent fiscal policies, and dynamic industrial and steel sectors. Banking in Luxembourg is the largest sector of its economy with an asset base of over 1.24 trillion alone. Number 1. Qatar, 124,927 GDP per capita. Qatar is the richest country in the world with a per capita income of 124,927. Qatar has a well-developed oil exploration industry where the petroleum industry accounts for 70% of its government revenue, 60% of its GDP, and 85% of its export earnings. Although the size of Qatar's GDP is barely within the top 50 largest in the world, the country's relatively low population of 2 million results in a large GDP per capita, where most residents of the country enjoy a very high standard of living.